Yo, what is up guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. If you are a TSM fan, you are about to receive some amazing news because when it was earlier announced that TSM will be picking up Huni as their top laner for the LCS 2021 season, let's be honest here, that's a terrible move. That is a complete downgrade from Broken Blade. But then we later on get this announced, and this is really good if you're a TSM fan because at BloopGG tweets, sources, TSM will pick up current world finalist SwordArt from Suning Gaming as their starting support for the 2021 #LCS season. The Taiwanese support will replace Biofrost. So I personally think that TSM acquiring SwordArt is really good, and I think getting SwordArt is a player that they have needed for quite some time, a player that consistently roams around the map, and he wants to make an impact through his mid laner and get objectives consistently with the jungler so they can up the tempo of the game. Now, the problem with acquiring SwordArt isn't really a problem with SwordArt, it's the problem that will TSM, now with getting beaten thoroughly at Worlds 2020 going 0-6, will they finally be able to change? Can TSM, acquiring these big names that they've always acquired in these off seasons, can it finally come together and they can, put a roster together that can compete internationally? Now, the problem is, I personally think that the roster is really interesting because you have Huni, who's not good, Spica, who looked really good at Worlds 2020, but it's hard to say how he'll perform in the LCS 2021 season because we're going to have a completely different patch. We're going to be looking at a lot of different changes and how the jungler is going to be, impacting the game in terms of the best junglers are going to have a new way of how to impact the game. And I don't know if Spica will be at the same level he showed at the 2020 World Championship. Then you also have Power of Evil, who I think is really good. Him and Jensen. And now we're going to have Perks on Cloud9. They're arguably going to be the top three mid laners in the LCS. So TSM have secured a top, three mid laner, which is really good. Doublelift is a wild card in my own personal opinion because I really don't know how well he'll perform with SwordArt, which it goes in combination of a bot lane. But we saw Doublelift play really well with Core JJ when Team Liquid were winning the LCS consistently. So I think that in terms of the first part of the LCS 2021 season, Doublelift and SwordArt will probably either have synergy issues where they're not really on the same page, or they're going to come out the gate swinging. But I personally think picking up SwordArt is a really massive upgrade over Biofrost. That has to be one of the biggest amazing moves in the offseason for TSM. That's why I had previously talked about TSM and Cloud9 winning the 2020 offseason, because not only did Cloud9 sell off Licorice, Palafox, and Diamond for some good cash, obviously to pay for Perks, C9 are also acquiring Perks, and TSM getting Power of Evil and SwordArt is really good, and you like to see that out of the top competitive LCS orgs, Cloud9, TSM, and Team Liquid, with Team Liquid also acquiring Alphari and Santorin. It has just been super amazing to see Cloud9, TSM, and Team Liquid acquire these big name players, and I think the LCS will be a lot more decently competitive coming into the 2021 LCS season. So hopefully, these big roster moves pan out. We also have, the other rumors circling around all night, but TSM acquiring SwordArt is incredible, but you also got to factor in how well will this play out, because SwordArt does have his issues, but the issues that he has are more or less so based around, will the TSM members he's playing with follow up on his engages personally. But I think the move is great if you're a TSM fan. Then we also have some other EU news that is kind of on the lighter note. Limit, I know there's a fan of the channel. He's always in all the episodes of Rift Insight. His name is Nick. He's a big fan of SK Gaming. So Nick, if you're watching this video, Limit, reportedly set to join Schalke No Fear, will be replaced by Treatz. If you don't remember who Treatz is, Treatz was TSM's academy support that replaced Biofrost for 2 weeks, and then they swapped back to Biofrost. So SK Gaming support Limit will reportedly join Schalke No Fear ahead of the 2021 LEC season, according to Jacob Wolf. In addition, his spot on the roster will be filled by TSM backup support Treatz moving forward. In what has already been a busy offseason for Schalke, the team re-signed its jungler Gilius and mid laner Abadage several weeks ago, while reportedly finding its top laner in TSM's Broken Blade earlier this evening. While the AD carry position still remains an unknown variable for Schalke, it's undeniable that the team is committed to revamping its roster in a proactive fashion this offseason, as opposed to scrambling for pieces deep into the free agency process. As for SK Gaming, the team will add a support player in Treatz, who spent a large amount of his playing time in the Academy League for this past year, playing for TSM's backup roster. However, when he was given the chance to perform on the LCS stage, he typically performed well. In fact, Treatz won 6 of his first 7 games with TSM starting roster in the past LCS 2020 summer split. Moving forward, SK Gaming will have to find Treatz a laning partner at some point this offseason, as the organization moved on from AD carry Crownshot earlier today. So, let's break this down. So, Limit, I don't think is terrible, but you're going to have to pair him up with a pretty good ADC for the bot lane to work out. I think that Limit hasn't really showed a lot, and I don't really know what was the reason for Schalke to pick him up, but maybe they see something in him that we don't. Treatz, being on SK Gaming, I think it's good for Treatz to finally get a starting spot, especially in an LEC roster. Now, in terms of being on SK Gaming, that's going to be the big problem, because I don't really know the rest of the SK Gaming roster, but Treatz did perform pretty well when I saw him play for TSM this past LCS 2020 summer split. So I personally think it's a good thing he finally is getting a starting point on a roster, because I really think TSM should have just went with Treatz personally over Biofrost, because Biofrost was really bad, obviously, during this past 2020 LCS season, at least for summer, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But Biofrost being knocked out of TSM's roster for SwordArt is absolutely incredible. I think SwordArt will kill out on TSM, and this is a great move from TSM. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out, guys. Peace. You guys have a good day. Yo, it's the Nightwing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video that you guys just watched. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. And if you never want to miss out on a single upload, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you get notified whenever I